Okay, hello friends, we are back again. This time we are going to learn about the new topic, that is the static joints. Now here knuckle joint we are going to take first. We are going to study two types of different joints here, knuckle joint, quarter joint, even turnbuckle is there. So first we are going to discuss about a knuckle joint. Let's go. Before that now knuckle joint, it is used to connect two rods. Okay, it is a device which is used to connect two rods. Rods I said, not a shaft. Okay, rods and shaft are different because shaft is used to transfer the torque and rod is used to transfer the load, okay, the tension. Now here the empirical design of a knuckle joint is given. The difference between the empirical design and the other design is that in empirical design the design value is depend on only one term. Here you can see that every term it is in terms of d, that is the diameter of rod. Okay, you can see here. So by this you can design a knuckle joint very easily. So whole design is in front of you. If you know the diameter of a rod, you can design a knuckle joint. But in designing, we are going to check here the dimension which we are getting with the help of this empirical formula are up to the mark or not. Okay, you can find this knuckle joint in so many places, right? Like in roof trusses, okay, then in eccentric rod, pump rod joint, and tension link in bridges structure, even our bicycle chain or our, you can say, a bike chain, you will get a knuckle joint there also. Okay, previously knuckle joint was used in railways also, but now it has been excluded. Even in tractor you will find a knuckle joint. So there are so many places where knuckle joint is used. Let's see, there are some nomenclature for the knuckle joint, that is d1 is equal to d, that is the diameter of rod is equivalent to the d1, that is the diameter of a pin. In the previous figure actually you have seen that everything is going to act on the pin, so pin plays a very important role here. And outer diameter of an eye, that is d2 is equal to 2 times diameter of knuckle pin head is d3, that is 1.5 times diameter. Thickness of single eye or rod end is t is equal to 1.25 times the diameter of rod. And thickness of fork, that is t1 is equal to 0.75 d, t2 is 0.5 times d, and the other dimension which is shown in the figure. Just remember these terms in this way, that is d1 is equal to d 1 times d, then double the diameter, that is d2 is equal to 2 times d, d3 is what, 1.5 times d, decrease by 1.5, sorry, decrease by 0.5. Okay, first add 1, then reduce 0.5, then after this reduce 0.25, that is thickness of a single eye. For single eye thickness, that is t is equal to 1.25 times d. In the same way, thickness of fork, that is t1 is equal to 0.75 times d. Here I have reduced 0.5 times the diameter, and here I have reduced 0.25, same thing. Okay, so this is the thing which I have explained. This is d1, that is the pin diameter. This is d2, that is the single eye. This is the single eye. Okay, this part is a single eye, and this is our double eye. Okay, it's having a two round circle, that's why it is known as double eye, that is a tuning fork, and it's having a single round, that is a single eye. Hmm? So these dimensions are given to us. This is the rod diameter d, and this is d1. This both the diameter are same, and based on that d2 and d3 are being defined here. Okay, I think you get clear about this part. Next thing is what, the methods of failures of knuckle joint. We are going to find out where the knuckle joint will be failed. So there are terms which we are going to use in designing the knuckle joint. P will term as tensile load, small d is the diameter of the rod, d1 is the diameter of the pin, d2 is outer diameter of eye, t, which we have already seen. Three different types of stresses are acting here, that is tensile stress, shear stress, and your crushing stress. Okay, and these terms are shown here, sigma t, tau, and sigma c. Now there is no stress concentration here which we are considering. These are the assumption which we have done here to find out or to check the design of knuckle joint. Next, the load is uniform distributed. So this is how the load is being distributed here. This is a pin which bears the whole load, you can say. Here the tensile load is acting just because of the single eye, and here tensile load is acting just because of the double eye. So load is acting in this direction for double eye, and for single eye it is in this direction, which is shown here. Clear? Now first find out the failure of the solid rod in tension. So to find out anything in tension, you have seen that we know that a very simple formula, that is stress is equal to load per unit area. Okay, that is, you can see here, sigma is equal to p by load, that is p by a. Okay, here sigma is the this stress, area will goes here. So load is equal to what? Pi by 4 d square into sigma t. This is how it has been distributed here, pi by 4 d square into sigma t. So in terms of this diameter of rod, can we find out this d can be known to us here. Same thing after this, as we know that d1 is equal to small d. That means we need to check diameter of pin first. If diameter of pin is failed, then everything is failed. Okay. So first we are going to check the diameter of pin in shear. So shearing is in both sides. So 2 into pi by 4 d1 square into tau. This was the area, and here the shear strength of the pin will be what? 2 into pi by 4 d1 square into tau. This is the shear strength, and the load will be what? Load is equal to 2 times pi by 4 d1 square into tau. Here the d1 is known to you, tau is known to you, load is known to you, but you need to find out the value of tau here. Okay, don't put the value of tau here, and just find out what is the value of tau you are getting. If the stress is more from the given value, that means the design is failed. You need to change the diameter of pin. If the stress is less than the given value of given permissible value, then the design is safe. Then we can proceed further. Have you how this the bending moment occurs here? You can see here, due to this force the bend movement will be here, and due to this force the bend movement will be here. So this is how the bending moment occurs. This is the block diagram for it, and this is how the bending stress is calculated. Sigma t is equal to m upon z. So p by 2 t1 by 3 plus t by 4 upon pi by 32 d1 cube. This is how you can check the diameter of d1 in terms of bending stress also. Okay, then then the first thing is what? Failure of the single eye or rod end in tension. Now this is a single eye. This is how it looks like. The area where the tensile load is here, if you are going to cut in this way, this part will be under tension because it will get pull in this side and it can break, and this part will get pull this side, so it can break here. So this area, that is d2 minus d1, this much area and this much area is important for us because this is the hole. Hole is nothing but a weakest part. So d2 minus d1 into t, this is the thickness t. Okay, this thickness is t, this thickness. So this t is here, d2 minus d1 is the area, and the strength will be what? Multiplied by sigma t. So you will get load is equal to d2 minus d1 into t into sigma t. This is how you can check the diameter of d1 d2 here in terms of sigma t. Okay. For shear, same thing, area will be same because same area is under shear. So only stress is changed. Now the formula is same, only stress value change. For the single eye in crushing. For crushing d1 into t, okay, because crush will be occur in this region only. The hole is there. Okay, due to crush, due to wear, it will get failed. So d1 into t into sigma c, d1 into sigma c. Formula is same. Clear? Now same thing for the fork end, that is the double eye. For double eye also, as I told you, this is the section part. This much part is the weakest part. This much part is the weak because this will go this side and this will go this side. So same is there, only 2 times thickness is there because this is same. So formula is what? P is equal to d2 minus d1 into 2 times t1 into sigma t. Same thing for the shear stress. You can see formula is same, only stress value change. So this is really very good for you people, that it is very simple design. If you get this thing in exam, love it to have. Now the failure of rod crushing, same d1 into 2 times t1. In single eye we use t1 and here 2 times t1. Everything is same. So this is how you can design it. Just write down all this thing on the paper, you will easily understand this part. So P is equal to D1 2 times T1 into sigma C. This is how we can design a crushing stress. Okay, thank you.